Okay, give your attendance. Agila, Anvarasi, Archana A, Archana E, Ashwini Amma, Uma, Saidanya, Aisha Banu, Bala Manjari, Manasha, Sumadi, Amrita Priya, Bhuvaneswari, Shaya Devi, Harshida Reddy, Dhanashri, Dharani, Divya, Divya Bharati, Pradisha, Celsia, Frida, Lakshmi Priya, Gayatri, S. Gayatri, Gita Malika, Amulya, Amulya. Who marked the attendance? You didn't take the attendance. Okay. Blue pen. Srisa, Kunapriya, Manasha, Ashini, don't disturb your friend. So many times I told you, when I am in the class, do you want anything, you have to discuss with me. Don't disturb your friend. Harshida, Fatima, Janani, Jivita, Jayakogila, Jayanti Priya, Karunya, Kavita, Samyugda, Kritika, Lavanya, Leelavadi, Madhura, Mahalakshmi, Mageshwari, and Suvarna. In the last class, we started a unit 2, projection of solid. In the unit 2, projection of solid, at first we have discussed the definition of solid. What do you mean by projection of solid? Isn't it? What do you mean by projection of solid? So drawing the front view and top view of the solid on planes of projection is called the projection of solid. So then we have defined the solid. What is a solid? And classification of solid. So solid, it is a three-dimensional object. It has length, breadth and height. How to classify these solids? All the solids are mainly classified into two categories: polyhedra, solids of revolution. In the polyhedra, there are three subdivisions: regular polyhedra, prisms, pyramids. What are the regular polyhedra? There are three important regular polyhedras: tetrahedron, cube. Cube is also known as hexahedron and octahedron. Prisms. The prisms are named as per the shape of its base. So examples: triangular prism, square prism, rectangular prism, pentagonal prism, octagonal, hexagonal, etc. Similarly, the pyramids. Pyramids are named according to the shape of its base. Examples: square pyramid, triangular pyramid, pentagonal pyramid, hexagonal pyramid, rectangular pyramid, etc. In solids of revolution, there are three important solids: cylinder, cone and sphere. Cylinder. How to obtain the cylinder? Imagine we are having a rectangular plane. So imagine the rectangular plane is rotated about 360 degrees with respect to the straight edge. As a result of rotation, you will get two bases which are in the shape of circle. Two bases and a curved surface are obtained. So this is called cylinder. Cone, the second one, cone. So imagine this is a right angled triangle. So rotate the right angled triangle about the straight edge for 360 degrees. As a revolution, we will get one base which is in the shape of circle and curved surface, isn't it? Sphere, how to obtain a sphere? Semicircle, we have semicircle. Imagine the semicircle is rotated about the straight line, straight edge for 360 degree. As a result of revolution, we will get a spherical surface, isn't it? What about the center point of the sphere? The midpoint of the straight edge of the semicircle becomes center point of the sphere. So as per the syllabus, we have to discuss only prisms, pyramids, cylinder and cone. What about the regular polyhedra and sphere? So no need to concentrate on regular polyhedra and sphere, isn't it? So according to syllabus, we have to discuss only prism, pyramid, cylinder and cone. Yes. What is the main difference between prisms and pyramid? See, this is a square prism, isn't it? Square prism. So square pyramid. So prisms have two ends known as bases, top base, bottom base. In prisms, the two bases are of same size and shape. See, top base in the shape of square, bottom base in the shape of square. These two bases are same size and shape, isn't it? The prisms have rectangular flat surfaces. The rectangular flat surfaces are of same size and shape. Fine. The prisms are named as per the shape of its base. See, the base is in the shape of square, isn't it? So it is called as square prism. What is the axis? To draw front view and top view, we are need of axis. Actually, the solids do not have a axis. For our convenience, we are using axis. What is the axis? It is an imaginary line. How to represent the axis? Long dash, short dash, long dash, short dash. So very first class, I have given some important types of lines and their applications, isn't it? The center line, how to represent the center line or axis? Long dash, short dash, long dash, short dash. In prisms, what do you mean by axis? Axis is an imaginary line which joins the centers of bases of the prism. So the height of the axis or the length of the axis may be taken as height of the solid. Am I right? What is the height of the solid? It is equal to axis length. What is axis? It is an imaginary line which joins the centers of bases of the prism. Am I right? Are you able to follow me? Sometimes in your problem, instead of the height of the solid, axis length will be given. So axis length, it can be taken as the height of the solid. Are you able to follow me? Yes. So what is this? The base in the shape of hexagon. So it is called as hexagonal prism. So prisms are named as per the shape of its base. See here in this solid, the base is in the shape of hexagon. So it is called as hexagonal prism. So the prisms in general, prisms have two bases, top base, bottom base. The two bases are of same size and shape. The prisms have rectangular flat surfaces. All the rectangular flat surfaces are of same size and shape. So prism. Then pyramid. Pyramids have only one end known as base and vertex or apex. The tip of the cone is called, the tip of the solid is called vertex or apex. So prisms have two bases. Pyramids have one base and vertex. The pyramids are named as per the shape of its base. See, the base is in the shape of pentagon. It is called as pentagonal prism. What is the axis in case of a prism? It is an imaginary line which joins the centers of bases of the prism. In case of pyramid, what is the axis? Axis is an imaginary line which joins the apex with center point of the base of the pyramid. What is this? Pyramid square, base in the shape of square. So it is square pyramid. The square pyramid or pentagonal pyramid. So pyramids, generally pyramids have triangular flat surfaces. All the triangular flat surfaces are of same size and shape. So prisms, pyramids, okay. Then cylinder. This is a cylinder. Cylinder has two circular shaped bases, top base, bottom base, and curved surface. Prisms has two bases and rectangular flat surfaces. The square prism has many corners and sides. What are you doing? Listen to me. Isn't it? See, take a square prism. The top base corners 1, 2, 3, 4. Square prism has 4 top base corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 top base corners and 4 top base edges or sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. So name the corners as you wish. A, B, C, D. AB, side or edge, top base side. BC, CD, DA. Similarly, the bottom base corners 1, 2, 3, 4. Already we have used the alphabets A, B, C, D. To avoid confusion, use 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 are bottom base corners, isn't it? It has base sides 1, 2, bottom base side or bottom base edge 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 1. Then A1, what is this? It's a longer edge. A1 is called longer edge. AB, top base edge or top base side. 1, 2, bottom base side or bottom base side. A1, longer edge. B2, longer edge. A, B, 2, 1, A. The first rectangular face, isn't it? Okay. In case of pyramid, square pyramid, it has pyramids have only one end. See, this pyramid has in the shape of square. Base side AB, BC, CD, DA. Base sides and slant edges. These are called longer edges. These are slant edges. Usually, apex or vertex is named by using the letter O. So the O is used to represent the apex or vertex. OA, long slant edge. OB, OC, OD or slant edges. So refer cylinder. Cylinder does not have any base edges, longer edges, corners, isn't it? To draw the front view and top view on planes of projection, we are need of the points, the corners, like a corners, and base sides, and longer edges. For this, divide the base circles into equal number of parts, usually 4 or 8 or 12 or 16. So take 8 parts, divide the base circle into 8 equal parts, 1, 2. So take the first quadrant, mark the point at an angle 45 degrees from center point through the 45-degree angle, draw a line. Similarly, in the second quadrant, draw a line at an angle 45 degrees. Now you will get 8 equal parts. So name the circumference points like a top base corners A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, 8. Yes, we have divided the top base circle into 8 equal parts. Name the circumference points. Here corners, isn't it? In the cylinder, the points are called circumference points because the base and the cylinder has a curved surface. So circumference points A, B, C, D, F, G, H. Similarly, divide the bottom base circle into 8 equal parts. Name the circumference points as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now join A1. What is this A1? Here A1 is the longer edge. In the cylinder, A1 generator, good. Generators. Join the top base circumference points A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H with bottom base circumference point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You will get 8 generators A1, B2, C3, D4. You will get 8 generators. What do you mean by generator? Actually, the cylinder does not have a generator. It does not have a axis. For our convenience, we are using axis and generators. What do you mean by generators in cylinder? Generators are imaginary lines which are used to join the top base circumference points with bottom face circumference points. What is the axis for cylinder? Axis is an imaginary line which joins the centers of bases of the cylinder. Okay. Compare cone with the pyramid. So square pyramid. The square pyramid has base sides, base corners, vertex and slant edges. What about cone? Cone does not have base sides, base corners and slant edges, but there is a apex or vertex, isn't it? The tip of the cone is called vertex or apex. Here the topmost corner, in case of pyramids, topmost corner is called vertex or apex. Okay. But to draw the front view and top view of the cone on planes of projection, we are need of points like base corners, base sides and slant edges. What should we do? Actually, cone does not have a corners, base edges and slant sides. So for our convenience, divide the base of the cone into equal parts, 4 or 8. Divide the base circle into 8 equal parts. So name the circumference points as A, B, C, D, F, G, H. Okay. Now we have marked 8 base circumference points. Apex, it is denoted by O. Join the first base circumference point A with O, AO, BO, CO, DO, EO, FO, GO, HO. These are called generators. So generators are, in case of a cone, how to define generators? In cylinder, what do you mean by generators? Generators are imaginary lines which are used to join the top base circumference points with the bottom face circumference points. In cone, what do you mean by generators? Generators are imaginary lines which are used to join the base circumference, simply base, it has only one base, isn't it? So base circumference points with apex, AO, BO, these are called circumference points. So we have marked 8 circumference points, so you will get 8 generators. What is the axis? In case of pyramid, what is the axis? Axis is an imaginary line which joins the center point of the base of the pyramid with apex. Cone, it is an axis. What is axis? It is an imaginary line which joins the center point of the base circle of the cone with apex. Okay. Do you understand how to classify the solids? Next, the position of solid. In the chapter projection of point, we have discussed 5 subheadings. Projection of point in the first quadrant, projection of point in the second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant on reference planes. In the projection of straight line, we have discussed 6 possible positions. What are the 6 possible positions? See, the straight line, refer the floor is the horizontal plane, board is the vertical plane. Imagine. What is the first position of straight line? So point is a dimensionless object. So we have started from dimensionless object to 3-dimensional object. Point over. Then straight line is the 1-dimensional object. What is the reason? It has only one length. To draw the line, we are need of the length of the line. So it is called as 1-dimensional object. What is the first position? The line is kept perpendicular to HP, parallel to VP. Second position, perpendicular to VP, parallel to HP. Third, parallel to both HP and VP. Fifth, inclined to HP, parallel to VP. Fifth one, inclined to VP, parallel to HP. Now it is inclined to HP, parallel to VP, just tilted. Now inclined to both HP and VP. So we have analyzed all the 6 possible positions of straight line, isn't it? Next, plane surfaces. There are 6 possible positions of plane surfaces with respect to VP and HP. What is the first one? Imagine it's a rectangular plane. What is the first case? Position number 1. The projection of plane. Plane surface is kept perpendicular to HP, parallel to VP. Second one, perpendicular to VP, parallel to HP. Next, perpendicular to both HP and VP. Fourth one, inclined to HP, perpendicular to, not a parallel. Many times I told you, you must refer only the angle between the plane surface and planes of projection surface. See, the plane surface is inclined to HP. What is the angle between the plane surface and VP? 90 degree, isn't it? You should not refer the side. You must refer only the surface of the given plane figure. See, the plane figure surface is inclined to HP, perpendicular to VP. Here, inclined to VP, perpendicular to HP. The sixth one, inclined to both HP and VP. So we have completed, isn't it? So far we have completed projection of point, projection of straight line, and projection of plane surfaces. So you have written one internal test, isn't it, in the unit 1. Do you have any doubt in unit 1? No. Okay. So now we are discussing projection of solid. So solid is the three-dimensional object. What are the possible position of solids with respect to planes of projection? Here there are 6 possible positions, isn't it? To place the solid with reference to VP and HP, refer axis of the solid. See, this is the square prism. In the square prism, axis is an imaginary line. To draw axis, at first you have to mark the center point of the top base, center point of the bottom face. Join these 2 points by using center line, long dash, short dash, long dash, short. This is called axis. Okay. To place the solid with reference to planes of projection, you must refer axis. So refer the projection of straight line. Simply change the straight line. Instead of straight line, use the term axis. So what is the first position of solid? Axis of the solid. Here use the word axis. You must use the term axis. In the projection of straight line, here axis. Straight line is kept perpendicular to HP, parallel to VP. But in the projection of solid, axis. Position number 1, axis of the solid is kept perpendicular to HP, parallel to VP. The position number 1. See, in this position, we have to draw top view and front view. What about top view? To get top view, look from top. Top view is a square. Am I right? Top view is a square. Only top base is visible. A, B, C, D is visible. What about the bottom face? 1, 2, 3, 4. Invisible. Isn't it? But there is a bottom face. In the top view, only top base is visible. So see A, longer edge A1. So consider the longer edge A1 as a straight line. Consider the longer edge A1. It's a straight line. The straight line is kept perpendicularly parallel to VP. One end is visible, top end is visible, bottom end is invisible. Like A visible, what about 1? Invisible. So 1 should be marked within bracket. Isn't it? Similarly, B visible, 2 invisible. C visible, 3 invisible. D visible, 4 invisible. So invisible corners, as per the rule, orthographic projection principle, the invisible corners should be marked within bracket. So in the top view is a square. Am I right? Okay. So you are the observer. As per the rule, observer stands at the right side of the planes of projection. To get front view, look from front. What about the front view? One rectangular face is visible. What about other 3 rectangular faces? They are invisible. So the top view of the square prism is a square. Front view of the square prism is a rectangle. That's all. This is called the first position. Position number 1. So position 2, axis. Refer the straight line. What is in the projection of straight line? What is the second position? Straight line is kept perpendicular to VP, parallel to HP. Here, instead of a straight line, use the term axis of the solid. Axis of the solid is kept perpendicular to VP, parallel to HP. In the second position, front view gives true shape of the base of the solid. So at first we have to draw front view. Front view is a square. Top view, to get top view, look from top. Top view is a rectangle. Did you understand the difference between position 1 and position 2? For the same solid, in the second position, front view is a square, top view is a rectangle. So what will be the third position? Third position. Axis of the solid is kept parallel to both HP and VP. Axis of the solid is kept parallel to both HP and VP. Okay. The front view is a rectangle, top view is a rectangle. What about the base? To get a base of the solid, we are in need of third reference plane. It will be discussed in unit 5. So when we discuss the unit 5, I will explain how to get the base, the view of the base. Here we have to use a side view, right side view and left side view. It will be discussed in detail when we discuss unit 5. All of you stand. Sit. Stand. Sit. Stand. Sit. So third. Then fourth position. Axis of the solid is kept inclined to HP, parallel to VP. Isn't it? Fourth position. Then fifth position. Axis of the solid is kept inclined to VP, parallel to HP. Sixth position. Axis of the solid is kept inclined to both HP and VP. So as per the syllabus, we have to study only fourth and fifth position, isn't it? Just to go through the syllabus. So refer your syllabus. So what did you understand from the syllabus? Read it. Anyone read it? Uma, read it. Read the syllabus. Solids, cylinder, cone, prism and pyramid. Very good. We are discussing unit 2 or 3. Are you sleepy? No? What I told you? So read the content of syllabus of unit 2. Read it. The axis is inclined to any one of the principal plane. So the VP and HP are called as planes of projection, principal plane, coordinate planes, reference planes, isn't it? So the axis of the solid is inclined to any one of the principal plane. In the fourth position, inclined to HP, parallel to VP. In the fifth position, axis is inclined to VP, parallel to HP. So as per the syllabus, we have to concentrate position number 4 and position number 5. To solve position number 4 and 5, the knowledge on position 1 and position 2 are required. When we solve the problem in the cases 4 and 5th, I will explain about position 1 and position 2. Did you understand the syllabus? So as per the syllabus, we have to study the solids. What are the solids? Prisms, pyramids, cylinder and cone. Then we have to discuss only, actually there are 6 possible positions of solid. The solid can be placed with reference to VP and HP in 6 positions. As per the syllabus, we have to discuss only position 4 and 4 and 5, isn't it? Sure. For position 4, in the last class we have selected 4 problems. So one problem for prism, one for pyramid, one for cone, one for cylinder, isn't it? Okay. So first problem. What is this? Hexagonal prism. Anyone read the problem? Uma, you read the problem? Yes? Given. Wait. What is the given solid? Hexagonal prism. Hexagonal prism. Listen. At first, you should understand what is the given solid. The given solid is a hexagonal prism. Anyone tell me the general shape and the size of the hexagonal prism? Say say few comments, say few points on hexagonal prism. Get the Malika. Hexagonal prism. First, prism. What do you mean by prism? So prism is a polyhedron. Okay. Say something about a prism. Prisms have two bases, isn't it? Top base, bottom face. Am I right? The given solid is a hexagonal prism. So what about the top base shape of the bases? Hexagon, isn't it? Top base in the shape of hexagon, bottom base in the shape of hexagon. So it can be taken as a projection of plane surfaces. Hexagon. Already we have discussed how to construct a hexagon when we discussed the topic projection of plane surfaces. Hexagon, what is the included angle? What's your name? Yes? Sayadevi. For a pentagon, to construct a pentagon, what are the included angle? So when we discussed the topic projection of plane surfaces, I told you how to calculate the sum of the included angle, how to calculate each included angle, isn't it? 2n minus 4 into 90 degree. I have given formula to you, isn't it? 1 for pentagon, 108. For a hexagon, 120. Hexagon. So hexagonal prism. So prism has two bases. The bases are in the shape of hexagon, and it has 6 rectangular faces. All the rectangular faces are of same size and shape. Okay, sit down. Now read the problem. Continue. Base side 25 mm. Okay. Axis height or axis length. What do you mean by this? Axis height. Height of the solid. So axis length. Axis length 55 mm. Okay. Resting on HP with one of its base edges. What do you mean by this? Resting on HP with one of its base edges. So the prism, listen, is a hexagonal prism. Top base in the shape of hexagon, bottom base in the shape of hexagon, isn't it? The base side, AB. So name the top base corners by using alphabets. A, B, C, D, E, F. 6, isn't it? Similarly, name the bottom base corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Classmates are top base edges, bottom base edges. 1, 2, corners. Top base edges AB, BC, CD, DE, EF, FA. These are top base edges. So the base side or base edge is equal to 25 mm. So AB is equal to 25 mm, BC 25 mm, CD 25 mm. Similarly, 1, 2, because the bases are of same size and shape. 1, 2, bottom base side, 1, 2, 25 mm, 2, 3, 25 mm, 3, 4, 25 mm, isn't it? So base side 25 mm. Axis length, what is axis? Axis is an imaginary line which joins the centers of the bases of the prism. So axis length is equal to height of the solid. So the height of the solid is 55 mm. Okay. Next condition. Resting on HP with one of its base edges. Imagine this is the horizontal plane, this is a vertical plane. What about axis? Axis is perpendicular to HP, parallel to V, position number 1. But the condition, read the condition carefully. Base edges, take bottom base edge, top base, bottom face. Now, all the bottom base edges are resting on HP. Am I right? Actually, one edge should rest on HP. What should we do? Tilt it in right hand side direction or left hand side direction as you wish, tilt it. Now listen, now one base edge, one bottom base edge is resting on HP. Now all the base edges, bottom base edges are resting on HP, isn't it? What is the condition? Only one base edge. The bottom base has 6 sides or 6 edges. Only one base edge should touch the horizontal plane. Tilt it. Is it okay? Only one base edge is resting on HP. What is the inclination of the axis with the HP? This angle, this angle, this angle. What is the angle? 30 degree. There are a number of ways, isn't it? Actually, one base edge should rest on HP. Okay. Then axis, here there are a number of ways, but the condition is given. The axis is inclined at an angle 30 degree to HP. So the axis should make the angle 30 degree to HP. So conditions. What are the conditions? One base edge or side, both are same. One base edge is on HP, isn't it? One base is resting on HP or is on HP. Such that the axis is inclined. Axis is inclined at 30 degree to HP. Listen. So axis, instead of axis use straight line. Straight line is inclined at 30 degree to HP. What do you mean by this? Theta, very good, theta. So the theta, inclination of the line with the HP is always denoted by the symbol theta. So here axis is inclined at 30 degree to HP. It can be taken as theta. So the axis is inclined at an angle 30 degree to HP. Okay. And parallel to VP. Refer axis only. Axis is inclined to HP and parallel to VP. Okay. Draw the projections of the prism. What do you mean by projection? Projection of prism. Drawing the front view and top view of the prism on VP and HP is called projection of prism. So you are asked to draw front view and top view of the prism. So asked front view and top view. So before solving the problem, you should understand what are the given data. So what is the given solid? At first, what is the given solid? Hexagonal prism, isn't it? So hexagonal prism means you have to imagine general shape of the hexagonal prism. Hexagonal, hexa, 6. So top base in the shape of, first prism means 2 bases, top base, bottom base. What about the shape of the base? Hexagon. Hexagonal prism means hexagon. Top base in the shape of hexagon, bottom base in the shape of hexagon. It has 6 top base sides, 6 bottom base sides, 6 longer edges and 6 rectangular faces, isn't it? Okay. Next, the size of the solid. Base side 25 mm, height is 55 mm. Next, you should understand what are the conditions. Whether the axis is inclined to HP or inclined to VP. Here, axis is inclined to HP and parallel to VP. Then, what are the other conditions? One base edge is resting on HP. Instead of base edge, the problem can be asked like one of the corner is resting on HP. So, corner means you have to change the top view accordingly. What is the condition? Here, one of the base edge is resting on HP. Sometimes the problem may be asked one of the base corner. It has 6 base corner. One base corner is resting on HP. Means one corner. Am I right? One corner should rest on HP. Here base or corner, base edge. One base edge is resting on HP. So base edge means the bottom base side, 1, 2 or 2, 3 as you wish. One base edge should rest on HP. Did you understand? Here one base edge is resting on HP. One corner means rotate the solid one corner, base corner, bottom face corner should rest on HP. The same problem can also be changed like one base corner is resting on HP and axis inclined 30 degree to HP and parallel to VP. Did you understand the difference between the base edge is resting on HP and the corner is resting on HP? Did you understand the difference between these two cases? Okay. But in our problem, one base edge is resting on HP. Did you understand what are the given data? Okay. See, axis is inclined to HP parallel to VP. So when axis is kept inclined to HP parallel to VP, the solution is obtained in two steps. Refer the projection of plane surfaces. When the plane surface is inclined to HP perpendicular to VP, the front view and top view, the required front view and top view will be obtained only in the second step. Am I right? So similarly, when axis is kept inclined to HP parallel to VP, the solution is obtained in two steps. Make a note of it. So have you left two pages? Yes. So first page, in the first page, note on few lines. So when axis of the solid is inclined to HP and parallel to VP, when axis of the solid is inclined to HP and parallel to VP, comma, the solution is obtained in two steps. The solution is obtained in two steps. Step 1. Refer projection of plane surfaces. Plane surface is inclined to HP perpendicular to VP. What's our assumption? Assume that plane surface is parallel to HP, placed on HP, perpendicular to VP, isn't it? So here, step 1, assume that listen, actually the axis is inclined to HP parallel to VP. Are you able to follow me? Axis is inclined to HP parallel to VP. Here assume that the axis is perpendicular to HP parallel to VP. What is this? Position number 1. I don't know. Assume that the axis is kept actually inclined to HP. What's our assumption? Inclined to HP. Perpendicular to HP and parallel to VP. Perpendicular to HP and parallel to VP. Full stop. For this condition, F caps, for this condition, comma, draw top view and front view. For this condition, draw top view and front view. So what is the necessity? At first we have to draw top view. Listen, the axis is inclined to HP parallel to VP. What's our assumption? Axis is perpendicular to HP parallel to VP. What I told you at first, for this condition draw top view and front view, isn't it? What is the necessity to draw top view at first? You have to check which view gives a true shape of the base of the solid. For this condition, which view gives a true shape of the base of the solid? Top view. Axis is perpendicular to HP parallel to VP. For this condition, the top view gives true shape and size. At first you have to draw top view, then project a respective front view. For this condition, draw top view and front view. Okay, listen. If axis is perpendicular to VP parallel to HP, at first which view should be drawn? Front view, because front view gives true shape of the base of the solid. First we got to draw front view. Okay. So first step 1 over. Do you have any doubt in step 1? No. Step 2. Step 2. Tilt and reproduce the First step, front view. Tilt and reproduce the first step, front view to the given condition. To the given condition. What is the given condition? Within bracket. Axis is inclined at 30 degree to HP. Within bracket, axis is inclined at 30 degree to HP. So what you wrote? Tilt and reproduce the first step front view to the given condition. Yes, full stop. Then THEN, then project the respective top view. It is similar to the projection of plane surfaces. We have to draw horizontal projectors and vertical projectors. The intersection points should be named A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. I tell you, when we solve the problem, I will explain. Then project the respective top view. Okay. Next, the second page, you can use the second page to draw front view and top view. So use your notebook in a horizontal direction, a landscape. Listen. So use your notebook in a horizontal direction. Draw the reference line XY. Next we have to draw top view below XY, and the front view should be drawn above XY. Isn't it? Yes. Now, refer step 1. What is step 1? What is step 1? Assume that the axis is perpendicular to HP, parallel to VP. Here, top view gives a true shape of the base of the solid. What about the top view? It is similar to hexagon, the plane, hexagon, isn't it? Listen, it's a reference line XY. Draw top view first. What is the reason to draw the top view first? Top view gives true shape of the base. Listen, here there are two possibilities to construct the hexagon. We can construct the hexagon in this way, or anyone tell me which one is suitable for this condition? Yes? Listen, after rotation, horizontal plane appears below XY, isn't it? Like that, after rotation. Now, the axis is actually perpendicular to HP, parallel to VP. After rotation, the axis is perpendicular, isn't it? Okay. If you draw the hexagon in this way, if you construct the hexagon like this, then only while tilting the axis to make the angle 30 degree to HP, any one of the base side will rest on HP. Are you able to follow me? See, tilt it. So one base edge will rest on HP. Are you able to follow me? Corner here. Listen. For the second case, if you construct the hexagon like this, tilt the, actually now the axis is perpendicular to HP. Actually, the axis is inclined at an angle 30 degree to HP. So tilt the axis to make the angle 30 degree, tilt it. While tilting the axis to make the angle 30 degree to HP, what will happen? One base corner will rest on HP. So here, if you construct the hexagon like this, while tilting the axis to make the angle 30 degree to HP, one base edge will rest on HP. Did you understand the difference between the two cases? So read the given data carefully. As per the given data, you have to construct the top view. Which one is correct? First one or second one? First one. So erase the second one. So listen to me, I will give the time to you. Listen. Listen here. I give the time to you. What is our assumption? Step 1, assume that axis is perpendicular to HP, parallel to VP, isn't it? Okay. For this condition, draw top view first. What is the reason? Top view gives a true shape of the base of the solid, top view. In the top view, the top base corners are visible. So name the top base corners by using alphabet. So top view, how to represent top view? By using small letters A, B, C, D. Which one is A? Decide yourself as you wish. A or A, decide yourself. Can I start from here? Decide yourself, no problem. A, B, C, D, E, F. All the top base corners are visible in the top view. What about the bottom base corners? All are invisible. So where I have to mark 1? A, 1. See, in the top view, it's a longer edge. A1 is a longer edge. Consider it's a straight line. A1. In the top view, A is visible. What about 1? Invisible. Actually, in the bottom base corner, 1 is hidden by the visible corner A. So where I have to mark 1 within bracket? This point, isn't it? This point is common for both the corners A and 1, or a straight line, the longer edge A1. In the top view, A is visible, 1 is invisible. Did you understand? Okay, then second corner, second bottom base corner, 2. B, B2. B visible, 2 invisible. In the top view, imagine, to get top view, look from top. In the top view, the longer edge B2. B is visible, 2 is invisible. Actually, 2 is hidden by the visible base corner B. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And what about axis? What is axis in prism? It is an imaginary line. It's a line which joins the centers of the bases of the prism, given prism. So axis is a straight line. What is the condition? Step 1, Kavita. What is step 1? What is our assumption? Axis is perpendicular to HP, parallel to VP. So consider axis is a line. Axis. The top end of the axis is visible, bottom end of the axis is invisible. So top view of the axis is a point. Am I right? Top view of the axis is a point. One end is visible, other end is invisible. So where I have to mark that point? Here, 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 here. So how to mark the center point? How to find center point for hexagon? So you should have studied all these things in your schooling in the chapter trigonometry. How to find center point for square, rectangle, triangle, pentagon, hexagon, cylinder, that is circle. So tell me one by one. Archana. Square, how to find the center point? Draw the diagonals of the square. Diagonals intersect at center of the square. Erase unwanted lines. Am I right? This is the center point. Rectangle, in the same way. This is the center point. After obtaining the center point, you have to erase the diagonals. Chiran. Triangle, isogon. I want to mark center point for triangle. Anyone? From top, vertical line. Okay. At what angle? 60 degree, 60 degree, 60 degree, 60 degree, 60 degree, 180 degree. Yes? Midpoint? So I am in need of midpoint. How to find the midpoint for a triangle? Yes? Midpoint of the who told you? Sharon. So for a triangle, do you want to find the midpoint of the triangle? Listen, in the square pyramid and the square prism, we have to find the midpoint of the triangle, isn't it? So take this corner. For this corner, which one is opposite side? This one? For example, the side is 30 mm. Find the midpoint of the opposite sides. 15 mm. Mark this point at a distance 15 mm. Okay. It means find the midpoint for opposite corner. For this corner, this side is the opposite side. Mark the midpoint of the opposite side. Join the point with the corner. Okay. Similarly, take any one of the corner, either this corner or this one. Which one? As you wish. For this corner, which one is opposite side? This one. Find out midpoint of the opposite side. Join the corner with the midpoint of the opposite side. This is called center point. The centroid center of gravity. Have you studied centroid center of gravity? You should have studied centroid center of gravity in your schooling in the subject physics. What do you mean by centroid? What is meant by center of gravity? So, where is our center of gravity? Solids are having center of gravity. The plane surfaces are having centroid. So, centroid is a point at which the whole area of the plane surface is assumed to be concentrated at this point. Center of gravity is the point at which the whole weight of the body is assumed to be concentrated at this point. The center of gravity. For plane figure, centroid. For solids, center of gravity. For human being, where is the center of gravity? Refer who? So next class we have to give the answer for center of gravity. So in the plane surfaces, this is a point. The point is called the centroid or the center point of the triangle. Okay. Pentagon. It is similar to the triangle. So take one corner, this corner. For this corner, which one is opposite side? This one. Find out the midpoint of the opposite side. Join the midpoint with the corner. Take the corner. For this corner, which one is opposite side? This one. Are you able to follow me? Find out the midpoint of the side. Join the corner with the midpoint. This is called center point of the pentagon. After obtaining the center point, you have to erase the unwanted lines. Hexagon. Join these two corners. Center point. It's very simple. Hexagon. Circle. To draw a circle, at first we need a center point. The point can be taken as center point. Do you have any doubt? Okay. Okay, so come to the problem. We want to mark center point of the plane. Join F with C. Draw it lightly. Actually, we are need of only the center point, so don't darken it. D, join the corners D and A. Am I right? Then erase the unwanted lines. So the small plus mark, simply mention one small plus mark. The small plus mark represents top view of the axis. What is the axis? Axis is a line, imaginary line, isn't it? One end is visible, other end is invisible. So the axis lies on center of the hexagon. Am I right? Okay. So top view over. So step 1, for our assumption, we have to draw top view and front view. Top view over. Then what about front view? How to project the respective front view? Listen. We have to obtain the front view step by step. Actually, the axis is inclined to HP, parallel to VP. For step 1, we have assumed that axis is perpendicular to HP, parallel to VP. See, all the bottom base corners are resting on HP. At first, we have to obtain front view of the bottom face. Where are all the corners? All the corners are on HP. So first corner, 1. Is it not visible? Board? 1. 1 is resting on HP, isn't it? So consider the base corner 1 as a point, projection of point. The point is lying on HP. What about the front view? 1 dash. 1 means 1 dash, A dash, B dash, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So name the bottom face corner as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, are you able to follow me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. The bottom base corner 1 is resting on HP, isn't it? So where I have to mark 1 dash? On XY. 2 on XY. 3. So all the base corners are resting on HP. So all the base corners should be obtained on the reference line XY. Are you able to follow me? At first obtain the front view of the bottom base. Front view of the bottom face. See, in the top view, the bottom base corners are invisible. So where is 1? 1 lies on A. So from 1, actually this point is common for A and 1, isn't it? So from 1, draw a vertical projector to cut XY at, what is this? 1 dash. So usually the front views are represented by using small letter with dashes. Already we have used alphabets for representing the top base corners. So bottom base corners we are using numerals to represent the bottom face corners 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the front view will be 1 dash. Where is 2? From 2 draw a line. The projector, the first step top view should be drawn lightly. 2 dash. Name the intersection point as 2 dash. Next 3. From 3 draw a vertical projector to cut XY at 4 dash. Am I right? Sorry, 3 dash. 3 dash. 1, 2, 3. What is the next corner? 4. What about 4? No need to draw separate projector from 4. The projector drawn from 4 definitely lies on 3. So directly mark the point 4 dash. Isn't it? What about 5? 5 coincides with 2. So 5 coincide with 2. What about 6? Coincide with 1. 6 dash. Okay. So which are visible corners, which are invisible corner in the front view? So in the front view, 1, 2, 3 are visible. So 4, 5, 6. Otherwise, it's very simple. Look at the top view in upward direction. To mark visible and invisible corner in the front view, look at the top view in upward direction. Upward direction means before rotation, so you are the observer. So you are standing right side of the planes of projection, isn't it? So 1 visible, 2 visible, 3 visible. What about 4? 4 is hidden by 3, 5 is hidden by 2, 6 is hidden by 1. So 4 invisible within bracket. As per the rule, invisible corners should be marked within brackets, isn't it? Next, 5 invisible, 6 invisible. Over. Okay. Next, all the points. So what we did? We have marked all the bottom base corners on the reference line XY. You have to differentiate the base with the XY line, isn't it? So the XY line should be drawn lightly. What is the point 1? 1, 2. You have to join the points 1, 2, 2, 3. It's a straight line. So the front view is a straight line. What about the 3, 4? 3, 4, it's a line CD. Sorry, 3, 4. 3 visible, 4 invisible. In the front view, one end is visible, other end is invisible. So this point is common for 3 and 4. Okay. Then 4, 5. 4, 5. Actually inclined to VP. Inclined to VP means it's a straight line, but it is smaller than actual shape. 3, 4. See, the 4, 5. So important point, listen here. 4, 5. The bottom base side. 4, 5 coincides with 2, 3. Isn't it? So 2, 3 is visible, 4, 5 is invisible. As per the rule, invisible side should be mentioned by using dashes. As per the rule, the visible side, so 2, 3 should be mentioned continuous line. Here, the continuous line coincides with dashes. As per the rule, short dashes coincides with the continuous line, you have to show only continuous line. So that's why 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Actually 4, 5 is hidden by 2, 3. You have to show only 2, 3. No need to draw dotted line. Similarly, 5, 6. This portion is hidden by the visible portion 1, 2. So 1, 2 coincides with 5, 6. 5, 6. So you have to show only 1, 2. So 5, 6 is invisible, short dashes. 1, 2 coincides with 5, 6. As per the rule, when the continuous line coincides with short dashes, you have to show only continuous line. So 2, 1. So this line, what it represents? This line represents front view of the bottom base of the solid. Front view of the bottom base. Like a projection of plane surface. Refer in the projection of plane surface. Anyone? For any one of the problem. It is a straight line. The straight line is obtained on xy. Am I right? Yes or no? Like that. So the base is a plane. The bottom base may be considered as a plane. So it lies on HP. So all the corners are obtained on xy. Next, how to get the front view of the top base? So far we have obtained only front view of the bottom base. How to draw the front view of the top base? So where I have to draw? Refer 55 mm. What about the base side? Before that, important point, you must apply the dimensioning. Base side is equal to 25 mm. It's an important one. Some mark will be given for dimensioning. So base side is 25. Okay. The height of the solid, axis length or height of the solid is 55 mm, isn't it? Where is the front view of the axis? It lies on this point. Am I right? Yes or no? Yes. This is the midpoint of the bottom face. So from this point, draw a line. It's an axis. Draw axis. How to represent axis? Long dash, short dash, long dash, short dash. Draw axis and mark the point at a distance 55 mm because the height of the solid or axis length has been given. What's the value? 55. Are you able to follow me? Okay. Through this point, draw a horizontal line which is parallel to xy. So we are studying only the right regular solid. What do you mean by right regular solid? Right regular solid and oblique solid. Divya, what is meant by right regular solid? What is meant by oblique solid? Frida. I have given definition for two terms, right regular solid and oblique solid, isn't it? What is the right regular solid? Listen, here axis is perpendicular to base, so it is called right regular solid. If axis is inclined to the base, they are called oblique solid. So we are studying, as per the syllabus, we have to study only right regular solid. Sure. So it means, listen, it means top base and the bottom face are parallel to each other. Am I right? Okay. Mark a point on the axis at a distance 55 mm. What is the reason? The height of the solid is given as 55 mm. Okay. Through this point, draw a horizontal line. What is the reason? We are going to obtain all the top base corners on this horizontal line. So top base and the bottom face are parallel to each other because it's a right regular solid. In the right regular solid, axis is perpendicular to the base. Okay. Next, we have to mark the corners, top base corners, A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash, E dash, etc. First mark A dash. How to get A dash? Where the point A? This one, isn't it? A. From A, draw a projector to cut the line at A dash. Am I right? Listen. The top base corners are A, B, C, D, E, F. The first one is A. To get front view of the A, where I have to mark? A dash. The front view ம் நல்லா தூங்குனீங்க. Consider a point A. To get front view of the corner A, where I have to mark A dash above 55 mm from XY, isn't it? A dash. So above 55 mm, A dash. Mark A dash at a distance 55 mm above XY, A dash. Next B dash, how to mark B dash? From B, draw a projector. Listen, one important point. It's an axis, top view of the axis. It is the top view of the longer side B2. B2. In the front view, see, it's an important point. B2, the longer edge B2 coincides with the axis. Am I right? Axis is an imaginary line. Long dash, short dash, long dash, short dash. What about B2? Real one. B2 is the longer edge. The solid, actually the solid is having the longer edge B2. B2 coincides with the axis. Axis is an imaginary one. For our convenience, we are using axis. As per the rule, when axis coincides with longer edge, real object, longer edge, you have to show only longer edge. So B2 is the straight line, B2. So B2 lies on this. So draw a line. It cuts at B dash. It should be mentioned as continuous line, B2. Because what is the reason? Axis coincides with the longer edge B2. When in real one coincides with the imaginary one, first priority should be given for real one. Next C. From C, draw a projector. Mark the intersection point as C dash. 3 corners are remaining. 3 top base corners are remaining. What about D? D lies on C. D dash. What about E? E lies on F lies on A. How to mark visible and invisible corner in the front view? Look at the object in upward direction. A, B, C are visible. D, E, F are invisible. D invisible. E invisible. F invisible. Then here is unwanted projectors. Okay. So this line represents front view of the top base. So far we have obtained only front view of the bottom face, front view of the top base. So front view of the top base is a straight line, front view of the bottom face is a straight line. Only 3 corners are visible. Join the points A, B, B, C. What about C, D? It's a point. D, E. D, E coincides with the B, C. Invisible side coincides with the visible side. You have to show only visible side. Isn't it? Similarly, E, F. This one. E, F. In the front view, E, F is hidden by A, B. Hey, are you able to follow me? E, F. Short dashes. It coincides with continuous line. As per the rule, continuous line coincides with the short dashes. You have to show only continuous line. So this straight line represents front view of the top base. Front view of the top base. Like it's a plane, just straight line. So far we have obtained only front view of the top base and the bottom base. What about the longer edges? In the front view, A1 is visible. Isn't it? Refer this. A1 visible, B2 visible, C3 visible. What about D4? D4, D4, the longer edge D4 is hidden by the visible longer edge C3. Isn't it? The longer edge F6 is hidden by A1. E5, the longer edge E5 is hidden by B2. So the visible longer edges are A1, A dash, 1 dash. See, A is visible 1, 1 is invisible 1. What about F6? F6 is invisible. F within bracket, 6 within bracket. Actually, in the front view, F6 is hidden by A1. Isn't it? So here F6, invisible side should be represented by using dashes. A1, visible longer edge. Visible longer edge should be mentioned by using continuous line. Here continuous line coincide with short dashes. So visible side coincide with invisible side. As per the rule, visible side coincides with invisible side. You have to show only visible side, continuous line. So darken A dash 1 dash. Okay. Next, see the longer edge B2 is visible. What about axis and E5? The longer edge E5, see E dash, F5 dash, invisible. And axis also invisible. So the longer edge E5 and axis are hidden by the visible longer edge B2. So you have to show only the visible longer edge. Here axis is an imaginary one. What about E5? E5 is a real one, but it is invisible. Short dashes, invisible longer side coincide with visible longer side. So invisible, visible. The priority should be given for visible. So B2. Next, D4. D invisible, 4 invisible, C3 visible. So C3 coincides with the D4. As per the rule, we have to show only the visible longer side. C3. Okay, this is the top view. So base height 25 mm, height 55 mm. So far we have discussed only step 1. What is step 1? Actually axis is inclined to HP parallel to VP. In step 1, assumed that axis is perpendicular to HP parallel to VP. For this condition, for our assumption, we have drawn top view and front view. Is a step 1. First step, front view and top view. First complete it. Then I tell you how to execute the second step. என்னாச்சு வாஷ் பண்ணிட்டு வரணுமா? இல்லை வாஷ் பண்ணிட்டு வரீங்களா? To use the second page for drawing the figure, to use your notebook in a horizontal direction, draw the reference line XY at the center of the page, then draw top view and front view. ஏன்பா ஃபோன் இருக்குங்களா? ஃபோன்லாம் அங்கேயே வச்சுட்டு வந்துட்டேன். ஃபோன் பண்ணுங்க. யார் மேலே கொலவெறின்னு தெரியலையே, உங்க மேலையா இல்லை என் மேலையா? இல்லை so what is the included angle for hexagon? Already we have discussed how to construct the hexagon, pentagon, isn't it? Do it fastly. ஹாஸ்டல் டேஸ்ல வராங்க. ரொம்ப நேரம் வாட்ஸ்அப் பார்த்தீங்களா? ரொம்ப நேரம் வாட்ஸ்அப் பார்த்தீங்களா? தூங்கிட்டு இருக்கீங்களே. எஸ்எஸ்பி நோட்ஸ் கிளாஸில் எழுத மாட்டீங்களா? தனியாக எழுதணுமா? எல்லாம் தானே எழுதியிருப்பாங்க. அப்படி தூக்கம் வருது. நல்லா இருக்கா தூங்குறதுக்கு? சிரமம் வந்துச்சுங்க சொல்லியிருக்கீங்களா? So make it fast. So the unit 3 is section of solid. For a section of solid, this is the first step. top view front view, drawing the top view and front view of the solid will be the first step of section of solid. Do you have any doubt? Ask me. Do you have any doubt? Varsha? Did you get your paper, test papers? So the Mohan Sundar sir, he is the in charge for evaluating your answer script. Agila, ask that person in the morning when sir came to our class, isn't it? Ask that person to give the papers. Have you received other subject papers? FOCP. When will you construct a hexagon? Do it fastly. You don't know how to construct a hexagon? Do it fastly. What is the length? Check it. Is it 25? By using scale, check it. So use what I did, what I told you, how to construct hexagon. By using angle, draw a hexagon. It will not help you. The template will not help you. You don't know how to construct the hexagon. Are you desk or hostler? You didn't understand how to draw hexagon. Isn't it? You didn't attend my projection of plane surface class? Sit down. What about you? What you did? Show notebook. You don't know how to mark the angle. Desk or hostler? So discuss with your friends. This is the basic to mark the angle, to construct the hexagon pentagon. So without knowing how to construct pentagon hexagon, it is not possible to study other units, projection of solid, development of surfaces. You are also. which dimension we are following? Aligned system, unidirectional system. In your book, which method is given? Unidirectional. Unidirectional means change the dimensioning, isn't it? Do you have any doubt? Ask me. Don't disturb your friend. Complete? Very good. இது உனக்கு புரியுறதுக்காக நான் ஷார்ட் டேஸஸ் போட்டேன், அது போடணும்னு கிடையாது. எரேஸ் பண்ணிட்டு போடணும். இங்கே நேம்லாம் காணும். நேம் த கார்னர்ஸ். Okay, complete? You don't know how to construct a hexagon. It means that you don't know how to mark the angle. Desk or hostler? You are not ready to discuss with your friends. When you are free in your room, you are not ready to discuss anything with your friends. This is the basics. Mark the angle, construct the pentagon, hexagon. These are the basics. So you have problem with the basics. Now how it is possible to study other units, section of solid, development of surfaces? Your top view is wrong. Your hexagon is wrong. See, you have to differentiate the reference line XY and the front view of the bottom base of the prism. The bottom base should be drawn. Tell me, where is the difference between XY and front view of the bottom face? Is there any difference? So draw the reference line lightly. Then the front view of the bottom portion should be mentioned visibly. Similarly, top base and how to write A, B, C. Where are lettering practice? So you forgot the lettering practice. The letters A, B, 1, 2, 3 should be mentioned as per the style of recommended style. Over. What is the side length? Base side. Base side. 20 mm. Who told you? So refer the problem. What's the given data? Okay, but your problem is 20 mm means do it. No problem. Which problem? But all the students wrote like a 25 mm. Okay, no problem. For 20 mm, do it. For your question, this is okay. Do it. What is the side? What is AB? Here one B, here also B. What's the length? This one length 25. What about other sides? Check it. Where these two sides are same. $25. And this one? Wait. Check it. Let's play. Over? Yes? Have you completed? Okay, next step 2. What is step 2? Read it. Tilt and reproduce the first step front view to the given condition. What is the given condition? Axis is inclined at 30 degree to HP and parallel to VP. Listen. In the first step front view, all of you listen here. In the first step front view, axis coincides with B2, the longer edge B2. So axis is perpendicular to HP. Actually, the axis is inclined at 30 degree to HP. You have to tilt the axis to make the angle 30 degree to HP. How to tilt it? Step 2. What is the angle between axis and base? 90 degree. In the right regular solid, the angle between the axis and the base is 90 degrees. Isn't it? Okay. If axis is inclined at 30 degree to HP, what about the base angle? Listen. Now the solid is perpendicular to HP. Tilt the solid to make the angle 30 degree to HP. Axis. Axis is inclined at 30 degree to HP. What about the base? Consider the base as a plane surface. The hexagonal plane surface. What is the angle between hexagonal plane surface and HP? 60 degree. Very good. 60 degree. 90 minus 30, 60 degree. Because axis and base are perpendicular to each other. If axis is inclined at 30 degree to HP, the base will make the angle 60 degree to HP. Am I right? Do you have any doubt? Axis and base are perpendicular to each other. In our problem, axis is inclined at 30 degree to HP. Okay, axis 30 degree to HP. What about the base? The base will make the angle 60 degree to HP. So in the drawing hall, it's very easy. By using the meter after scale, we can draw the 30 degree inclined line, and by using the other scale, we can draw the base of the solid. So in step 2, we have to tilt and reproduce the first step front view to the given condition. In the drawing hall, by using meter after scales, it is easy to draw the 30 degree inclined line. But in the classroom, first mark a point at any convenient point on XY. Here one point, do you want to tilt the solid in the right hand side direction or left hand side direction? Which one do you want? Right hand side direction. So right hand side direction means we have to mark the side CD will rest on HP. Any one of the side will rest on HP. Am I right? Listen to me. Any one of the side will rest on HP. If you tilt the solid in left hand side direction, in this direction, CD will rest on HP. If you tilt the solid in right hand side direction, the side AF will rest on HP. Isn't it? So which side do you want? Left hand side direction, right hand side direction? Right hand side direction. Okay. So right hand side direction means first mark the corner A means not AF, 1, 6, the bottom base corner, the bottom base side. The bottom base corners are named by using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one bottom base edge should rest on HP. It means 1, 6, 1, 6. Mark 1, 6 will rest on HP at any convenient position. Already I have used the 1 dash 6 dash. This is a tilted front view, isn't it? 1 1 dash 6 1 dash. Am I right? At first mark point on XY at any convenient position on XY at any convenient distance. Decide yourself as you wish. Okay. Then now we are going to tilt the surface, the bottom face will make the angle 60 degree to HP. What about axis? if base will make the angle 60 to HP, axis will make the angle 30 degree to HP. So in the classroom, in the drawing hall, it is very easy by using meter of the scale to complete 30 degree and 60 degree. Here in the classroom, at first mark the point. Which one do you want to rest on HP? Which point? 1, 6. Mark the point 1, 1 dash, 6, 1 dash at any convenient. Now we are going to tilt the base to make the angle 60 degree to HP. What is the reason? Axis should make the angle 30 degree to HP. So the base should make the angle 60 degree to HP. Listen, by using protractor, listen to me, by using protractor with a reference to the point, with a reference to the point and the reference line XY, mark a point at an angle 60 degree. Here we want to tilt the surface, tilt the base in left hand side direction, in the right hand side direction. So mark the angle in anti-clockwise direction, 0 degree. Are you able to follow me? 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay. From the point, reference point, through the marked angle, draw a line. See, this is the base make the angle 60 degree to HP. XY means HP. Before rotation, imagine HP. By using divider or a compass, use a compass. Measure the distance of 2 dash from 1 dash. Transfer here. What is this? 2, 1 dash. The 5, 1 dash will rest on the same point, isn't it? The 5, 1 dash will coincide on the same point, 5, 1 dash. But it is invisible. So already I have used 2 dash, 5 dash. To avoid confusion, I am using 2, 1 dash, 5, 1 dash. Are you able to follow me? Okay, next, by using compass, measure the distance of 3 dash from 2 dash, transfer here. What is this? 3, 1 dash, 3, 1 dash. Then what about other corner? 4. 4 is invisible. 4, 1 dash. Next, erase the unwanted parts. So this is the base. What is this? Front view of the bottom face. Front view of the bottom face. And I have marked all the bottom face corners. One bottom base edge, 1, 6 is resting on HP. And the bottom base makes the angle 62 HP because the axis is inclined at 30 degree to HP. We have marked all the corners here. Am I right? Bottom face corners. Next, I want to draw axis. Where is axis? Axis coincides with B2. I want to draw the line B dash 2 dash. How to draw B dash 2 dash? It is perpendicular to the base. Am I right? See, this is perpendicular to the base. From 2 dash, draw a perpendicular line. How to draw the perpendicular line? In the classroom, in the drawing hall, it is very easy. Place one scale on the base. What about other scale? Other scale is definitely perpendicular to the line. But in the classroom, by using protractor with a reference to point 2 dash and this reference line, base reference line, mark a point and angle 90 degree. Are you able to follow me? Yes. From 2 dash through the marked angle 90 degree, draw a line. It is perpendicular to base. Isn't it? Okay. So where I have to mark B1 dash, yes, B1 dash. 55 mm. The height of the solid is given as 55 mm. By using scale, mark a point on the axis at a distance 55 mm. What is this? B1 dash. Do you have any doubt? Ask me. B1 dash. What about E1 dash? E1 dash lies on the same point, but it is invisible. E1 dash invisible. Okay. Next, from B1 dash, draw a line. It should be perpendicular to the base. This one. On this line, I want to mark A1 dash, F1 dash, C1 dash, D1 dash. How to mark all the points? It's very simple. From 1 dash, draw a vertical line. Otherwise, by using divider, Measure the distance of A dash from B dash, transfer here. What is this? A1 dash. F1 dash lies on the same point but it is invisible. Then erase unwanted line, unwanted projection. Is that it? By using divider, measure the distance of C dash from B dash, transfer here. What is this? C1 dash, D1 dash is invisible. Then erase unwanted line. Darken it. But in the drawing it is very simple. Place one scale on axis. By using other scale we can draw the perpendicular line. See. So far we have obtained front view of the bottom face, front view of the top face. Isn't it? Okay. What about the longer edges? Listen here. So simply we are tilting the base to make the angle 60 to HP. Then only the axis will make the angle 30 degree to HP. Isn't it? Okay. Then if you extend the axis, it will make the angle, definitely it will make the angle 30 degree to HP. To verify the figure, extend the axis. Here axis coincides with the longer edge B2. Extend the longer edge B2. Then measure the angle. Definitely it will be 30 degree because base makes an angle 60 degree, 30 degree. Otherwise, just extend it. Then apply dimensioning 30 degree. Okay. Then A1 is visible. Am I right? A1 dash 1 1 dash. A dash 1 1 dash. Join these two corners. So A1 dash 1 1 dash, this one, A1 dash 1 1 dash visible, the first longer edge. Next B2 visible, B1 dash 2 1 dash is visible, isn't it? Next C1 dash 3 1 dash visible, 3 1 dash visible. What about other longer edges? D4 invisible, E5 invisible, F6 invisible. So in step 2 what I did? Simply tilt the base to make the angle 60 degree to HP. Then only the axis will make the angle 30 degree to HP. What is the given data? Axis is inclined at 30 degree to HP, isn't it? Okay. Then accordingly you have to mark all the bottom base corners and the top base corners and the longer edges. Do you have any doubt? Yes, do it. Listen, one important point, this is for your reference. Listen, just a minute. Simply extend the axis to cut XY. What about the angle? Definitely it will be 60 degree. See, this is the triangle, am I right? 60, 30. What is the angle between base and axis? 90 degree. 90 plus 30, 120 plus 60, 180. So triangle, what is the included angle? Sum of the included angle, 180 degree. So this is for your reference. So do you have any doubt? Ask me. What's the time? No problem. Do it fastly. Darken பண்ணா if you don't draw two lines, you have to press the pencil. Subtract twice. Mark 90-degree angle. Mark the point 90 degree. See, listen, the horizontal line. So best to purchase on protractor separately. This line should coincide on our reference line. The intersection point should coincide on our reference point. Okay, mark 90 degree. So from 2 draw a 55 mm, height of the solid is 55 mm. Then to this point draw a horizontal line, then mark all the points. We have marked the angle. What are you doing? Just 55 mm. Okay, fine, 55. Okay, it's very simple. Place the scale, move the scale here, draw a line. So transfer all the points. What is this? This is the B1 dash. Then we have to obtain A1 dash, C1 dash. So the point should be written horizontally. Listen, the A1 dash, B1 dash, 1 dash, 2 dash, that should be written horizontally. So the letters should be written perfectly horizontally. Over? Yes? Bitte? Okay. Over? Over? Do you have any doubt? So in step 2 what we did? Tilt and reproduce the first step front view to the given condition. What is the given condition? Axis should make the angle 30 degrees HP. So in the drawing hall it is very easy, by using mini drafter scale you can draw the 36 degree inclined line. But in the classroom, so instead of tilting the axis, we have tilted the base. So if base is inclined at 60 degrees HP, what about axis? Definitely axis will make the angle 30 degrees HP. Isn't it? Listen, this is an important point, listen. Next. What next in step 2? then we have to project the respective top view. How to get the respective top view? Listen. At first, we have to obtain the top view of the top base. Top base ABCD, isn't it? So first A1, from A1 dash draw a vertical projector. In the first step top view, listen here. In the first step top view, from A, draw a horizontal projector. Name the intersection point as A1. Already I have used the A, to avoid confusion, use A1. Okay. Next, from B1 dash draw a vertical projector. From B, draw a horizontal projector. These two intersect at B1. Next, from C1 dash draw a vertical projector. Where is C? From C lies on the same point. From C, draw a horizontal projector. Name it as C1. A, B, C. Next one is D1. From D1, it lies on the same point. From D, draw a horizontal projector. D1. Are you able to follow me? Okay. Next D. Next one is E. It lies on the same projector. From E, first step top view. From E, draw a horizontal line. E1. So you have to obtain the point in sequence A, B, C, D, E, F. E. Okay. Next one. Which one is F? Where is F? Here. From F, draw a line. It cuts the projector drawn from F1 dash at F1. Isn't it? So I have obtained all the top base corners. Then erase the unwanted projectors. To give good impression to the examiner, erase the unwanted projectors. Do you have any doubt? So we have obtained all the top base corners. In this way, we have to obtain all the bottom face corners. For this first one, from 1 dash draw a vertical projector. Where is 1? This one. From 1, draw a horizontal projector. Just simply extend the line. What is this? 1, 1. Am I right? Next, what is the next corner? We have to get 2, 1. For this, from 2, 1 dash, this one. From 2, 1 dash, draw a vertical line. From 2, draw a horizontal projector. These two intersect at 2, 1. What next? 3, 1. From 3, 1 dash, draw a vertical projector. From 3, draw a horizontal projector. These two intersect at 3, 1. Isn't it? Next, 4, 1. From 4, draw a horizontal line. From 4, 1, draw a vertical line. These two intersect at 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, 5. 5. From 5, draw a horizontal line. Next, 6. From F, extend a line. From 6, 1 dash, draw a vertical line. These two intersect at 6, 1. So I have marked all the bottom face corners. Then erase unwanted projections. Do you have any doubt? So what I did, I have obtained all the top base corners and all the bottom face corners. Okay. Next, we have to join all the points in sequence. Before that, listen, it's an important point. It should be applied for all other problems. Listen to me, it's an important point. Before joining all the top base corners in sequence A, B, B, C, D, E, F, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. Before joining all the base corners in sequence, we have to mark visible and invisible corner in the second step top view. For this, look at the second step front view in downward direction. Which one is invisible? Imagine only one base side is resting on HP. In the top view, look at the front view in downward direction. See, 1, 6 is invisible. Am I right? To mark visible and invisible corner in the second step top view, look at the second step front view in downward direction. Here, 1, 6 is invisible. Refer it. Imagine the base side 1, 6 is invisible. The base edge 1, 6 is resting on HP. That two corners are invisible. Where is 1? 1, 1 here, within brackets, within brackets. Am I right? Okay. Next, join all the points in sequence. First base edge 1, 2. Listen, it's an important point. The corner 1 is invisible, 2 is visible. As per the rule, visible corner and invisible corner, visible and invisible, should be mentioned by using short dashes. Okay. So visible and invisible corner should be mentioned by using short dashes. Two invisible points should be joined by using short dashes. Two visible points should be joined by using continuous line. Here, invisible point, visible point. So these 2 points should be joined by using short dashes. Next one, 1, 2, okay. First base edge. 2, 3, visible, visible. Continuous line, darken it. 3, 4, visible, continuous line. 4, 5, continuous line. 5, visible, 6, invisible. 6 and 1, invisible, invisible. So short dashes. Did you understand? All the bottom base edges over, isn't it? Okay, next, top base edges. All the top base edges are visible in the front view, isn't it? To get top, you look from top. Here, all the top base corners are visible. So all the points should be joined by using continuous line. A, B, sorry, where is A? A, B, B, C, C, D, D, E, E, F, F, A. So far we have obtained top view of the top base, top view of the bottom face. What about the longer edges? It has 6 longer edges, A1, B2, C3, isn't it? A1, first longer edge, A, visible, 1, invisible. What should we do? Short dashes. A1, short dashes. A1. B2, visible, visible. B2, visible. A1, okay. B2. Next, C3. What about C3? C visible, 3 visible. See, listen, this portion is common for the longer edges A1 and C3. Am I right? But this portion C3 coincides with this portion. As per the rule, visible side coincides with the invisible side. The priority should be, first preference should be given for visible side. It means C3 should be darkened. Isn't it? Okay, do you have any doubt? Next longer edge.